Hey, so this video is just kind of thing I saw. It's about how the book is not the thing. And this comes up because I was reading a discussion online, and a guy made the claim that he could know a thing without having to experience it because he had read it. Specifically, this had to do with a sense of humor, that a man said he knew a sense of humor. He had no sense of humor, but he knew if something wasn't funny because he knew what funny was because he had read the definition. Now, to quantify that again, he had no sense of humor, but he knew what funny was because he had read it in a book. Now, as you know, this, or at least I hope you know, this is not how things work. There's a great thing that the Spartan race says, and I'm just going to use it because it really is a good experience for this, what I'm speaking of. They say, you'll know at the finish line. That's all they say. You'll know at the finish line. You'll know what? How long it was, how tiring it was, what it means to be a competitor. You'll know at the finish line. Well, what you'll know is actually unique to each person. I know one thing. My wife knows something else. By the way, she says hello. She's currently driving home to Reno from her job in Lake Tahoe. And I had a really tough time understanding where this guy was coming from as I read it. And I finally got it. I finally understood that what this person was saying was they didn't believe you ever had to experience anything because someone else could experience it and then write it down or make a video like I do. He believed that you could totally get it. Well, this is silly. You can't totally get it. You you can only get kind of an imperfect understanding. I mean, if I were to write something down, I'm dysgraphic, as you all know. I can't possibly tell you in words how something really is as good as somebody else who's an author. Say, I don't know, say a biographer or something. But even then, they can't tell you. Um, I am one of several people who tried to recreate medieval martial arts of Europe. And these people wrote down in books the best way they knew how to recreate certain parts of their martial arts. Now, of course, they didn't write down the entire martial art because most of these books were advertisements. You should hire me because look at my, like, Fiore di Liberi's The Flower of Battle, Fiore di la Battaglia. I can never say it right. Anyway, point is, or Flos Duelatorium. Uh, it was basically, listen, this is what I'm good at. Now hire me, and I'll explain everything. But still, you're trying to sort of understand where they're coming from based upon what they wrote. You're making educated assumptions. Now, let's say that they wrote down everything in their martial art, everything at all, having Fiore just written down everything. That'd be a much bigger book. But you still couldn't get it because he's going to make certain assumptions about his reader because he's writing Fiore's Deliberry, he's writing early 15th century Italian for other early 15th century Italians. Of course, there's no Italy. It's city-states and whatever. You know, you've got Florence and you've got Venice and you've got whatever. There's no real Italy. But anyway, you get what I mean. He's writing for other people in his area at his time. And this, of course, begets one of the problems of of understanding the past is because we're not them. So of course you can't read something in a book. You can't watch a video. You can't do anything and know exactly what that person was doing. Which is why, of course, I put up my videos about the Spartan race, why I put up my video about summiting Rattlesnake Mountain, or that was my phone, or summiting Mount Houghton, and looking down upon Slide Mountain, Mount Royal Ski Resort, and I recorded that video with my wife to encourage you to go out and see what it's actually like. Now, I recorded a video, okay? I spoke in it. It had sound. It had picture. And in no way could it communicate even 25% of what it was like for me to be tired and cold in the summer because it was up very high, and to look down and see Lake Tahoe and to see Donner Pass and Truckee, and we could even see the airport in Truckee from a mountain just outside of Reno. Now Truckee's 35 miles away. We could see clearly into California. We could see all of Lake Tahoe. We could see into Carson City and to Gardnerville and Minden. And we wish we could see, but we probably couldn't. We could imagine we could see Fernley. We didn't. But the point is that we could see a lot, and it was experiencing a lot. There was no way to even communicate that with the video. So the point of this video, what I'm doing, is to communicate that life is for living. Okay? You can't watch my fighting videos. You can't watch my videos of being on a mountain and then know what it's like to be in a fight. Know what it's like to be on a mountain. You can know what it's like to watch a video of a fight. You can know what it's like to watch a video of a man recorded being on a mountain. But you can't know what it is to be on the mountain because you are not me. You are not my wife. You cannot know what it was like for either of us to be on that mountain. But you can know if you drive to Reno or fly to Reno and take Nevada route, state route 431 up to Mount Rose Pass, when there's not 20 feet of snow on it like there is right now, and take that trail all 5.5 miles up to the top, all the way up, and and look out and see all of that at 10,749 feet. Then you'll know what it's like for you. I mean, my experience was different than my wife's. Our experiences will be different than yours. And that's what kicks back to that Spartan race. You'll know at the finish line. I knew what it was like to have 3 asthma attacks, push through 4.5 miles of rough terrain, get over 13 obstacles, a bucket carry that I thought would kill me, and still finish almost 4.5 hours after I started. Okay? I knew what it was like to have people who were doing the Ultra Beast, which was 2 laps of the hardest course there, plus extra, look at me and go, dude, are you okay, man? Like, you look really tired. I'm looking at these guys covered in mud, and they're cut up, and they can only take what they carry with them. These were the elite athletes, the ones who were competing. And they're like, yeah, you look kind of messed up, man. And I'm going, how do I look messed up? You guys are doing like a 30-mile obstacle course race up and down a mountain, like a lot. Oh, yeah, but you look messed up. That was like an experience. And I would fully recommend everybody try something like that. You know, I can tell you what it was like to ride my motorcycle tonight in the freezing rain of a Reno winter, where it's only warmed up slightly, so it wasn't actually snowing. But I've heard those things. I heard what it was like to ride in the weather I rode in tonight. And then I rode in it, and I was like, wow, this kind of sucks. And I really understand what they mean. How do you ride in the rain? You just ignore it. I thought that was being flippant, but there's really no other way to do it. You can't ride safely and feel the fact that you're freezing your ass off. You got to put it out of your mind. You got to ignore it. So little things like that. So, yeah, you can't look at a book. You can't look at a video. You can't do any of that and know what it was like. You can get a glimmer of an idea, of a thought of what it was like. But the only way to know is to do it yourself. Just like the map is not the road, you've probably heard that the map is not the road. You can take that to mean a metaphor that you can look at a map, but to experience that is very different. I'm going to give you an experience that anyone in the United States or who comes into the United States can have. And that is to drive from the East Coast to the West Coast. Now, I did it along the Philadelphia Turnpike. I went from Connecticut. I never actually did the full Interstate 80 in the very northern part of New Jersey, all the way to the Bay Area, specifically to San Francisco, where it dead ends. A couple thousand, and I want to guess like 2,800 miles later. But you can. I've gone from Connecticut, jumped down into Pennsylvania, and then taken I-80 all the way over. I've started in southern New Jersey and gone through Philadelphia, and taken the Pennsylvania Turnpike all the way across Pennsylvania, and then joined up with I-80 just outside of Youngstown, Ohio, and then gone. And that's an experience, and that's an experience that's very hard to perfectly describe the 4 to 5 days it will take you, but you can do it. And the point of that is to say, I can tell you all about that 4 to 5 days. I did it 3 or 4 times. But until you do it yourself, you're never going to understand the joke about crossing from western Illinois to middle of Nebraska, to the middle of Wyoming, and corn, corn, cows, corn, corn, windmill, corn, cows, soy, corn, corn, cows, soy, windmill, corn. And that's really funny if you've actually done it. It doesn't make any sense if you haven't. And that's the point. Go out there and do it for yourself. See the world. See life. Life isn't a map.